What is up, everybody? Dan the fireman here. And I want to talk to you about riding two up with a child. Now, first and foremost, just remember, just like when you're riding by yourself, it's extremely dangerous to ride a motorcycle. So, with that said, if you're going to bring a child up on the bike, let's do it right. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to my patrons for making this video and all my videos absolutely possible, because if I didn't have you guys, I would have to go work somewhere and not have time for making videos, and you guys are supporting the fact that, well, you want me to make these videos. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want to help out, swing on by. Got a link in the description. BeginnerMotorcycleTips.com. So what you want to do is prepare your passenger early. Prepare them very early. Him or her, whatever it is. Alright, your child should be able to reach the passenger pegs, first and foremost. So you can't throw a child on the back of your bike, and if they can't reach the passenger pegs, if they can't put their feet on something that won't get caught up, like on the chain or on the belt or anything like that, that is not safe. First of all, you can't do that. So if they're too small, too young to even do that, you should not be watching this video unless you're preparing for that a little bit later. So anyways, make sure your child can reach the passenger pegs. That's actually state law here in Arizona. Second, you need gear for your child. So before you even throw the kid on the bike, get gear, okay? So good gear is kind of hard to find for little children. It's actually really hard to find. But there are some helmets out there. There's definitely some DOT helmets out there. And one thing that I did find out is that there's some really good BMX helmets out there, and they are DOT rated. I haven't found anything that's Snail rated for a child. I haven't found anything that is ECE rated. So if you can help me out on that one, please write it in the comments. But DOT rated helmets are available for children. You can get like extra small also. So keep an eye out for those, but definitely get gear. I mean, you're on here on your bike with full gear, right? Or at least you should be. Your child, come on, your child or a little kid. Do you really want them to have a disfiguring injury because you decided to throw them on the bike and you crashed for some reason, and now they have a disfiguring injury for the rest of their life there's no fault to that for them? It's ridiculous. Make sure your child is positioned safely. Do not put the kid in front of you. Do not do that. Do not have them sit on your freaking lap. That is the most ridiculous thing. There's nowhere for them to put their feet. They're not balanced very well. There's a reason why there's a seat back here. It's very important, guys. Very, very, very important. Important. You gotta remember, okay? You have to remember this. This is part of the positioning of them very safely and things. My kids, they fall asleep in the car. I don't know about your kids. I'm pretty sure it's a common thing. My kids fall asleep in the car in the back seat when I'm driving, picking them from school, okay? They fall asleep. What do you think is gonna happen on the back of this motorcycle? Your kid's gonna fall asleep, all right? And if they fall asleep, they're not holding on. If they fall asleep, they're not balanced. You go for a turn, they're half awake or they're completely asleep. Bloop, they fall off. Do not want that. They might not be able to hold on. They might not be able to hold on. There's this like really cool looking thing. It's a belt, and it's like a harness that you can attach to your kids, basically like a backpack, like literally a backpack. I recommend it if you're gonna do that, but here's one thing: if you want to try out putting the kid on the bike, this is what I do. I don't like to buy expensive stuff like right off the bat, because you never know with kids if they're gonna like it. So like you buy all this stuff, and then now, like, you know, they don't want to do it. So you have like this really cool belt thing that you're never going to use. Gear though, you definitely want to do it, and you can always sell it used. But what I would do is I'd wear a backpack like this and have them wrap around. Since they're so tiny, have them grab on like the straps. That's one easy way for them to have something to hold. But make sure that they're nice and close to you. If you have a sissy bar or anything like this, it's a lot easier for them to kind of lean back and then maybe hold on to something down here and have their feet on the pegs. That's really important. Make sure you keep an eye on them too. Like I said, they're gonna fall asleep. Constantly have communications with them. Constantly, you know, tap their leg and ask them how they're doing. stuff like that. A lot of the same stuff that goes to actual passengers adult-wise, but kids, I mean, you got to spend extra time with that. So understand your local laws. You know, in Arizona, anyone under the 18 must wear a helmet, and any passenger has to reach the pegs, has to reach the footrests for passengers. Specific footrest for passengers, okay? I'm like over here. I like to put my feet up here practicing for the FTR, but this is my spot. They need to reach the passenger pegs, okay? That's extremely important. Do not put a kid on your bike without following the laws, because cops will find that. Cops will see you riding around, especially in Arizona. They'll see you riding around with a kid with no helmet. Boom, you are in deep doo-doo. Not only are you breaking the Arizona law when it comes to riding with a child, but you could possibly get, you know, child endangerment. You could possibly get a bunch of crazy. Any cops here, please let me know. But you can get a bunch of stuff. I know child endangerment's one of them. But yeah, you're gonna be breaking a ton of laws. You're gonna have a lot of issues because it's not a consenting adult, really. The children cannot consent. I'm sorry, they cannot. When you say, hey, you want to go ride on the back of my bike, and they say yes, technically they can't consent to that. You know, technically, yeah, they said yes, but they're freaking children, okay? They have no legal rights to their own decisions. You're absolutely 100% responsible for them. And that's coming from me as a parent, is that, you know, just because they say yes or no, it doesn't matter. You're just getting their opinion. If you're putting a kid on the back and they're under 18, they could be 16, 17, doesn't matter. They need to have their helmet. They need to reach the pegs. So if you're thinking about putting your 8-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old on the back, that's what I talked about, finding good gear. Be very careful. Very careful that they could fall asleep, that they don't know what they're doing. Even if you tell them what to do, they're gonna forget. They're gonna feel really awkward in a turn, all these different things. Now, if you have like a 17-year-old, once again, you still gotta have to have a helmet, but with a 17-year-old, more than likely they won't fall asleep. More than likely they'll be, hopefully at a higher mental capacity and more like an adult, but still at the age of 17, you can get in trouble. You can get in trouble because they're not adults. All right, that was my little spiel. And I know you guys wanted to learn a little bit about riding 2-up. So a lot of the same stuff really does apply from adults to kids, but there's a few extra things. There's a few extra things when it comes to kids, and I don't want to keep regurgitating the same thing, but here's the thing, is that as a parent, I personally really want my kids on the back of the bike, but I'm extremely hesitant. At the end of the day, it's not what you really want as a parent. It's not what you really want as the adult. So let's say you want to take your niece or your nephew or something like that, or your cousin or whatever. At the end of the day, you're the adult, and it's not necessarily what you want. It's what's best. So is putting a child on the back of the motorcycle what's best for them? Okay, it could be. It could be sharing experience, having a great time with them, doing all these things. But now, once if you get in an accident, did you do what's best? Do you have the motorcycle training now above and beyond because you're going to take a child? Or do you have gear for that child? No? Okay, well then don't take the kid on the bike. I know you're going to have a great time and it's hard to find stuff, but if you really want to show, I'm not going to give parenting advice here, but if you really want to show, hey, this is how you ride a bike, this is the responsible way of doing things, you wear full gear, all these things, then do it the right way. Do it the right way. You wouldn't take a kid out shooting and say, here's your gun, go ahead and shoot however you want to do, wave it around, all that stuff. No, you would never do that. Never do that. You go through all the rules of gun safety, downrange. If anybody's downrange, you do not shoot. You wait for me to tell you to shoot. You hold it like this, you do this. You guys are extremely careful for a gun, but nobody's extremely careful for motorcycles. That's a big issue. Nobody's doing it for motorcycles. All right. With that said, I hope you guys ride safe, be safe, and I will see you guys a little bit later. And on a quick note, I just want to let you guys know, hey, it's riding season now. You guys are all wanting to do these things. You want to get on the bike and everything. We'll kind of figure out what it is you want to do. And if you're having a tough time, you know, with whatever's going on in your life and you think motorcycling is going to help you out a lot, and it will, it definitely will, just swing on by the Discord, or just remember, there's people out there like us on the Discord, the DDFM crew, that will listen to you and help you out and talk to you. And we want you to be safe. We really want you to be safe and to relax and have a good time. All right. So if you're having a tough time, swing on by. All right. I'll see you guys later.